Hi there, I'm Scott Welch from Edsby. I think we all know Amia, a good kid, well adjusted, doesn't complain. But if you ask her what she's learning and why, or what she needs to do next in math, she'll blow you off. Now, that's not the shocking thing. The shocking thing is that when you talk to Mia's math teacher, Mr. Garcia, you're going to hear the exact same thing. He wants to help kids like Mia, but the challenge is that he doesn't have just one Mia. He has dozens. He's struggling with the latest teaching framework that's been mandated. He's got 90 unread messages in his mailbox, and 70% of his fellow teachers are contemplating quitting. I'd like to talk to you about how we might help. Consider these three questions. First, what am I learning right now? Second, where do I need to go? Third, how do I get there? It turns out that helping students to answer these three questions for each of their learning destinations is how you get your kids to progress in their learning journey. Now, there's a good reason for these three particular questions. And to explain why, I'd like to give you a bit of an analogy. I want you to imagine you've just landed in a city you've never been to before. It's 9:30 at night, you've just gotten your rental car and you need to get to your hotel. Oh, and it's 1995. You get a sinking feeling in your stomach because you don't really know where you are and you don't know exactly where you're going and you have no idea how to get there from here. Nobody wants that feeling of being lost. But now imagine the exact same scenario, except instead of 1995, it's 2025. You punch in your hotel address and the Google lady comes to your rescue. And just like that, you know where you are, you know where you need to go, and you know how to get there. See, the Google lady has actually changed the way you feel about the journey you're on. Now, we know that many schools and districts have been moving in the direction of competency based education and formative assessment, but they are running into challenges, not with the actual pedagogy. We know that works, but with implementation. Competencies vary by subject and grade. Each learner masters them at a slightly different pace. So instead of 700 kids all going from one airport to one hotel, it's more like 700 airplanes going to 100 different destinations. Now, this looks complicated, but the folks in air traffic control can handle it because they have powerful tools to help them. Now imagine how it would feel to be an air traffic controller without proper systems to help manage all this. Maybe their managers said to them, just build something out of Google Sheets. I think they'd probably use words like burned out, overwhelmed, and ready to quit. Because whether you call the things we're talking about destinations or frameworks or expectations or standards or competencies, we're going to have something like 10 or 20 competencies per subject per school year. And each teacher might have 20, 25, even 30 kids per class with half a dozen classes. That's thousands of competencies to manage just for a single teacher. And if you don't have the right tools, everyone has that feeling of being lost. So, we at Edsby have been listening to our customers describe the challenges that they've been seeing in their schools and districts, and we've been busy building a tool to help them. Let's switch gears now and take a look. We'll start with the students because that's where we started this conversation. So, what did we say the questions were? First, what am I learning right now? Here's the first screen a student sees. We help them understand exactly where they are on their learning journey. At the top, they can see the summary of their progress towards their overall course competencies. They've attained to, are working on to, and have 5 upcoming. Below, we show their current, upcoming, and completed learning destinations. Second, where do I need to go? When a student clicks on any learning destination, we help them focus on exactly what is required in student friendly language, and we clearly show them the success criteria for this destination. And third, how do I get there? This is all about the students taking responsibility for their learning. This is where a student can use our app to provide evidence, perform self assessment, and upload documents and videos, and where the teacher can add individualized feedback, observations, and so on. We also give parents a special interface so they can know where their kids are on their learning journey. Parents can see the learning destinations and success criteria just like the kids. Now let's look at the teacher. We've heard loud and clear from teachers that while they really want to do competency based teaching and use modern assessment practices, they find it very difficult to manage this new process with their existing tools. So difficult, in fact, that they are unable to fully implement the changes you want to see in your schools. We're changing that. So here's what the teacher sees when she enters a class: the destinations dashboard. This dashboard is automatically configured and aligned to your local curricular framework across the top. Down the left hand side, we automatically display a roster of all the kids in her class. Looking at each cell, she can see where her kids are on their learning journeys. Some have met the expectations, some have exceeded the expectations, some are still learning, and some are blank, indicating that they have not yet started on this destination. Edsby is saving the teacher time by helping her see which kids are on track and which kids need some turn by turn direction. And when she clicks on an individual destination for an individual student, she sees where they are, where they need to go, and what's next for that particular student and particular destination. Edsby has done the hard work of sorting and managing the conversations, observations, work product, and so on. This frees the teacher up to actually teach. This is Edsby Destinations. This is the right software to help you deliver competency based education and evidence based formative assessment to your school or district. We have proven scalability to tens or even hundreds of thousands of learners, and we provide the tools that modern learners, modern teachers, and modern parents need. Now, I could quit at this point, but if possible, I'd like just a minute or two more of your time. I know that I've spent quite a bit of time talking about students and teachers, but education also involves other people like principals, curriculum writers, directors of education, IT folks, and so on. And we've been building the tools that they need to drive success too. First, we automatically import your outcome based curriculum framework using an integration partnership with Satchel and the CASE network. Second, we automatically import data from your student information system to align each and every class with the correct curriculum and learning outcomes. And there's one last component that sets us apart from other tools, and that is Edsby Insights, our reporting and analytics. At the school level, the principal needs to see the aggregated information about the kids in her school, and we give her a tool that does just that. With a click, the principal can zoom in on the kids who are not keeping pace with their peers and who are at risk. Finally, we can roll this information up to the district level to get the aggregated data on student progress. In fact, with Edsby Insights, we can aggregate this data at the state and even national level. And this is what Edsby Destinations delivers. It's a new type of competency based learning software that enables every student and their parents to know where they are in their learning journey. And it enables educators and administrators at all levels of a K 12 school or district to assess, report, and analyze against local competencies. Edsby Destinations delivers modern tools for modern education.